Good morning and a warm welcome to KBC Channel 1 News Check on this 27th day of February 2024. My name is Bentro Enjoy. Byron Abuli is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Welcome to News Check. Remember, this is a program earmarked to ensure that we keep you afloat with all the latest happening in the country. And today, what we're going to do, we're going to divide this into 2 hours, where the first hour we'll be looking at skill-based training, and I'll be hosting Sami Waititu, who is the principal of the Kiambu National Polytechnic. Allow me to first of all introduce him. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
And on the second hour, we will be looking at the state of the nation. A number of things have been happening in the country. The latest one being in the course of the week, there was a cabinet retreat where we were looking at a number of issues in the country, which the cabinet said that they will be looking into and also taking stock on what they have been able to accomplish in the last couple of months. That is a live discussion that we'll be having here. We welcome your comments, suggestions, or even where you are watching us from. We are live on all our social media spaces. And without further ado, allow me to introduce Sami Waititu, the Principal Kiambu National Polytechnic. But before we do that, there are a number of news items that my colleagues are also keen on following. With the First Lady will be at Karura for the landscape and ecosystem restorations strategy. There are a number of committees that are taking place in Parliament, including the Health Committee, where Health CS Nakumincha will be meeting with the National Assembly Committee on Health. Of course, we're also keeping tabs with the Embakasi gas explosion. We're also having health stakeholders on antenatal care, where my colleague Kasichana Masha is also keeping tabs with. And the National Construction Authority Conference is currently underway. We'll be getting a link from our editor, O'Brien Kemani, a little bit later. But first things first, let's get into skill-based training, and I'm talking about those young men and women. There's a paradigm shift in the job market, and it's a good thing that we have the Principal Kiambu National Polytechnic to tell us how the technical institution, more or less the TVETs, are actually on the forefront to ensure that the paradigm shift in the job market that is more or less leaning on technical courses, we are also there, and we are also encouraging our young men and women to take up this role. Bonasami, yes. Tell us something about the Kiambu National Polytechnic. I remember in August 2023, Kiambu, it was, yes, Kiambu Institute of Science and Technology, together with 12 other, yes, TVET institutions were promoted to National Polytechnic. Yes. Tell us about that.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. My name is Sami Waititu, like has been said. I'm the Chief Principal of the Kiambu National Polytechnic. We have always been known as Kiambu Institute of Technology, and fondly referred to as KIST. That was the case for the last 50 years. But in August last year, the government found it fit to upgrade KIST to the Kiambu National Polytechnic. We refer to ourselves now not as KIST, but as KINAP, Kiambu National Polytechnic. We are a TVET institution under the Ministry of Education, State Department for TVET, and we offer quite a wide range of courses. We started way back in 1973, that is 50 years ago. I'm happy to note that we celebrated 50 years since we started last year in September. So that time we started with two main courses, building and civil engineering, that was meant for men, and secretarial course, that was meant for ladies. We admitted our first lot of 125 students. As we celebrated the 50 years, we had a total students population of 9,398 different courses. That is the phenomenal growth that we have experienced. What do we offer? We offer mainly, or we are known for engineering courses, where we offer building and civil engineering, which was our pioneer program, and we still offer it. It has a population of 2,000 plus. Then we offer, in engineering, we have building and civil, we have electrical engineering, and we also have mechanical and automotive engineering. In the same department, we have a very new course. I believe I'll get some time to elaborate on that we call Industrial Mechatronics. That's a very new course that is offered only at Kiambu National Polytechnic.
Only?
Yes, only.
All right, and it's a good thing that you've
so I'm not
laid the groundwork.
Okay.
And before we even look at further deeper into the courses that you are offering and how they are changing, and telling us the 50-50 model of that now that has a paradigm shift in regards to how TVET courses are trained, there is an article in regards to your institution that was prepared by my colleague Aidan Ibrahim in regards to the TVET institutions, which if my director can attest that that clip is ready, we can first of all move into that clip.
Okay.
All right. But before we do that, Kiambu Institute, you've talked about one of the latest courses that you are offering, and it's only offered in Kiambu National Polytechnic. Tell us about that.
Okay, the course I've talked about is the Industrial Mechatronics course. We are offering at diploma level, and it is a competency-based education and training course. We refer to it as CBET. The mode of training is quite different in that we are applying the dual training model. It is based in Germany, and that is where we have borrowed it from. You know that Germany is a leader in the industrialization, and they are quite ahead of us. So the government approached the German government, and they agreed to help Kenya host or have that course. It mainly involves the automation of the industry. If you are to visit any industry, you'll find a lot of robotics or things running without much human intervention. That is automation. That a product can come from where it is processed, it is bottled, it is canned, it is packed, and then it keeps moving, and very many processes take place without human intervention. You wonder what that is. It is not magic. It is actually robotics and automation, basically. So we want to have our Kenyan youth do the automation, maintain the systems, and repair them, and by and by even be able to design some that work for us. And I want to say that at Kiambu National Polytechnic, we already have such a system that is able to mix chemicals like the detergents, then bottle them automatically, label them, and the process is done. So that is already happening. So in the dual training, what happens when we talk of dual, we are talking of two parties being involved. And what we do, we are training with the industry. The process starts with the developing of the curriculum. We do it with the industry, different from the previous way of doing things, where institutions and the curriculum developers would sit, imagine what the industry requires, develop a curriculum and train and release candidates, then hoping that they'll fit in the industry. For dual training, you have to start with developing the curriculum with the industry, so that the industry tells you these are the skills we want. After you develop the curriculum, then you move ahead. The selection of the students who are to join the program, again, is done by the industry. What we do, we advertise that we have these vacancies. We also get industry partners who are ready to sponsor students to that program according to their need.
All right. And you will tell us more about the dual training, which is supposed to be 50% classwork and 50% should be on the technical bit. But in your institution, my director Joan Musembi informs me that that clip is ready, where institution offering technical courses are now recording an influx in the number of students opting to pursue technical courses despite qualifying to pursue university education. The shift is largely being attributed the changing market needs, with the majority of youth now focusing on being job creators as opposed to job seekers. And today we do feature that, the new thirst for technical education that has prompted technical training institutions to sharpen their curriculum, talking about 50-50 dual training, 50-50%, to equip learners with both theory and practical experiences within an organization's setup. Here's a story of the changing job market dynamics as told by our reporter and my colleague Aidan Ibrahim and voiced by Nancy Okwares. First of all, have that clip so that we may get deeper into these conversations.
The Kiambu National Polytechnic in Kiambu County. Here, we meet Happiness Waithera from Kiambu County. She scored a C+ in the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examination. She, however, opted to ditch university training to pursue a technical course in welding and fabrication technology. So what were her reasons?
Only men can do this job, but we have proved time and time again for us who are already in the field that we can do it. Women can actually do it.
Her story mirrors that of Charlotte Kusa from Mombasa County, who also scored a C+ and is studying mechanical engineering.
What I'm doing is something technical, and I'm gaining more skills. Okay, it's not theoretical, because as you can see, we're in the workshop doing something practical.
Elio Bala from Kisumu County had a mean grade of B in his national examinations, qualifying to join the university, but opted to instead pursue mechanical engineering at the institution.
Mechanical analysis, like the sensors, actuators, and I really love this course because it is a fingertip thing.
Theirs is a story of young men and women who have opted to swim against the tide, dispelling the notion that technical courses are a reserve for school dropouts or learners who did not get good grades.
We can give you names of our students who have already graduated from the universities. Leave alone those who have done well in KCSE. Those who have completed universities, being out there, realizing that they are not making headways, and then they decide to come here and do a course.
Kiambu National Polytechnic offers various academic programs, among them applied sciences, building and civil engineering, business, entrepreneurship and social studies, electrical and electronics engineering, baking technology, ICT and computer studies, mechanical engineering and industrial mechatronics and hospitality. Learners who scored a C+ and above in the national examinations are enrolled in the institution to pursue specialized courses in level 6, such as automotive engineering technology, welding and fabrication technology, mechanical technology production and baking technology.
These people who did not get A's, normally they are gifted differently. When it comes to hands-on activities, you can bet they are very good at that.
These are the same foods you find in the hotels. You find them being sold out there in the bakeries, like in supermarkets. So this is actual practical life.
According to the institution's chief principal, Sami Waititu, the thirst for technical courses is driven by the changing market needs and demand for technical skills both locally and abroad.
The dual training, the industry is able to select the workers. They conduct very thorough interviews. They do aptitude tests.
Waititu says the institution has embraced a dual training model where 50% of the work is done in the classroom setup and the remaining 50% is a practical exercise. The practical aspect of the learning is a joint partnership between the government and the private sector players who allow learners to train within their industries and later absorb them as employees once they complete their studies.
In fact, we had a challenge with one industry. The students were supposed to come and sit their final exam, but the industry was reluctant to release them because they were running a whole plant. And so according to the industry, releasing these 3 students would make their production stop.
These, he says, is a training model implemented in other advanced countries such as Germany to ensure students are well prepared for the job market.
The Kenya government and the German government, through GIZ, came in handy to sensitize the industry that this is good for you.
They come here for one term, they alternate with another term at the industry, following a specific curriculum. So by the time they are finishing the course, they are actually almost like employees at the company. And I think this is what has really attracted companies to partner with us.
The data at the institution shows following the introduction of the dual training model in 2020, the number of students enrolled at the institution has doubled, as this model not only offers the necessary hands-on experience, but also creates a direct line for employment.
Dual training is the answer to the skills mismatch. It is actually the game changer.
Charlotte, happiness, and Ellie's decision to pursue technical education despite qualifying for university education puts into perspective the future of the job market. A majority of youth are recognizing the change in market needs, and the high unemployment rate requires them to do more than just think out of the proverbial box if they are to excel as job creators and not just job seekers.
All right, and that is a discussion that we are having, retooling skill-based training, and more specifically, we have seen a paradigm shift in technical courses, and there is a reason, is because the job market has also shifted into more or less more technical courses. And another thing is that the job market, and especially those who want to just forge their own way and start their own businesses as mason, as technicians, as mechanical engineers as well. Well, and that's the reason we have the Kiambu National Polytechnic Principal to help us drive that conversation. And first things first, how are TVETs being repositioned to bring about the socio-economic transformation, especially for young people and also for the economy?
I want to say that the major thing that has happened since September last year is that we moved from the theoretical training that we have been carrying out to competency-based education and training. That was a shift, and a major one for that matter. It has happened. Now, more than 90% of the courses offered in TVET institutions is actually competency-based. Maybe one may ask why competency-based. We have been talking of CBC. That one is very popular. Students are undergoing CBC at primary level, then they move to secondary. So when they come to college, they expect the same hands-on training, and that is what we are doing. We have always had this idea that we produce graduates who claim to be plumbers, who claim to be electricians, but then they are not able to do it with their own hands. They have a lot of theory, but that has now changed. We are training them hands-on, so that by the end of a lesson, now you have to demonstrate that you are able to perform that task in a real life situation. That is one major change, so that when the graduates go out to the industry, they are able to perform. Initially, there was the requirement that the industry had to retrain them. So the competency-based education and training, CBET, is one of the greatest things that can happen in a TVET system. And this is bound to impact the industry and impact the society in a major way. The students who have undergone CBET training also have more confidence, both to work in the industry or to hire them, to create employment for themselves. And I want to say that we offer entrepreneurship as a course. Regardless of which course you are taking, you should be able to come up with a business proposal, start the business, and even present it for financing. So with the confidence, the students are able to get jobs, and for those who will not get jobs immediately, as hired employees, they are able to start their own businesses.
And when I was reading that script, about 2 or 3 students have opted not to go to the university and join technical courses. And I'm looking at when I completed high school, more than 24 years ago.
Okay.
And I remember when you talk about TVETs back then.
Yes.
More or less, it was earmarked for those who did not pass. Remember?
Yes.
But now we are seeing people who have already passed and they have the university grade. What are we doing to make TVET a little bit more attractive to the young men and women who are completing this?
First, to make a correction, it is not 2, 3. they are in their thousands. If you check the government statistics.
Actually, I'm talking about the article. Yeah, in the article.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was talking of, we can give examples. And I want to clarify this time. So many of them have C+ and above, but they prefer to come to a technical institution. Why? Because with a diploma, which we are now calling level 6, you are assured of getting a job sooner, and you are also even before you are employed, and even as you train, you are able to work. You are able to offer services in the society and to make your money. And the real motivation for any one of us is to be self-reliant. After you have completed high school, then you complete college. You are not expected by the society to rely on your parents or your brothers, your sisters. That is one aspect that is making TVET more attractive. That even before I complete training, I have skills that I can utilize to be productive and get my own income. We have experience in our society. We have so many graduates who are from the universities who are outside there. They have the knowledge, but can they be productive? No, because they don't have any hands-on skills. So we have so many of them, and the good thing is that after diploma, nothing stops you from pursuing your degree. But then, when you are self-reliant, when you can pay for yourself. So this is an easy route to hitting your milestones as a person. That you want to be self-reliant. Many of us would want to start their own families, but then you go to a university, you are there for 4 or 5 years, then you come out and you are not able to get a job. But with a diploma, you get your job. Then after that, you can still pursue your education. Yes.
And TVETs, how are they the retooling of TVET trainers?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, if we have had to also adjust our curriculum for the TVETs, yes, we also have to track our trainers.
That is being done and done in a big way. The government converted what we used to call the Kenya Technical Trainers College to the Kenya School of TVET.
The KCCT.
Yes, it is now KS TVET.
Yes.
It was KTTC, and we all knew it for that.
Yes.
Now its main mandate is to retrain the skilled teachers, because the system we were using was basically theory. Now we are having a CBET curriculum, which is new to the trainers. Okay, they have the knowledge, but then they don't know how to pass it in a way that it becomes impactful and ensures that the students are hands-on. So every trainer, as we talk, has had a chance to go to KS TVET and to be trained. The training is taking 2 weeks of very intensive training. Every trainer has now undergone that training, and now we have shorter programs targeted at specific trainers, and that is happening since September. Every teacher has been trained or has been retooled.
Yes, and we are talking about 50 dual training, where the students who are in TVETs are having 50% classwork and 50% of technical skills themselves. The funding for these courses and the retooling, all this, we've had issues with the funding of education, and even as we speak, in various sectors of the education. How are we making it, and how are we getting this funding from? Because, as you said, when we talk about robotics, this is something that was not there a couple of years back. When we talk about artificial intelligence, less than 5 years ago, it was in its infant stages.
Yes, very
But
true.
now we are using this in the training. The funding, as we also try and also change the way we do our TVET courses.
Maybe other thing that has happened with our government is that TVET has been given a lot of attention. There were times when the sector was completely forgotten. But if you remember, from 2018, the government introduced capitation for students, where every student who enrolled in a TVET institution was given 30,000 shillings. And that was not enough. The government also introduced HELP. HELP was known for university students, but now the TVET students are now entitled to HELP And the model worked in such a way that with a fees of 56,000, the government gave 30,000. Then the balance of 26,400 could be obtained from help. So in terms of funding, the government has done everything that it can. This time now, the government has, under the new funding model, the government has introduced scholarships. Help is still there. So any student who feels like he needs a loan, it comes in form of a loan. So funding is now there.
And you're talking about funding including also in equipment and in some of the projects, the big projects that you have. Let's talk about digitization and AI infusion. This is something quite recent, and some of the universities have not been able to actually ensure that all their courses are fully digitized, and also the AI infusion that is coming up is a new technology.
It is true. It's a very new technology, and we are also doing it in bits. But in terms of digitization of our curriculum, that one has already been done. We are also offering online training, so that a student who is not able to come to school can be taught. Can even do the practicals. We have equipment that can communicate. Like we have a studio, maybe not as advanced as what you have, but we are able to target students in their homes, where we train them. Then once in a while, they come to the institution, and they are able to do whatever they were doing at home. They are able to come. You can imagine somebody doing cake baking. This person can be taught, and he is able to see what is happening in the institute. He is able to have the ingredients. He will mix them. He will bake a cake right from home, as it is demonstrated in the institute. Then once every 2 weeks, this person will come to the institute. The only thing he'll miss from home is maybe the smell of the cake that is being baked at the institution. The smell and the heat. Otherwise, everything else is being done. So we have gone digital in most of our courses. We are leveraging the AI tools, but this is gradual. But with the kind of funding, and I want to say the equipment is being provided. Like our institution has already been provided with equipment in electrical and electronics. And we are having one massive project worth billions of shillings in industrial mechatronics. This is a big one. It is actually a loan from the German Development Bank, where the government is doing the construction of hostels, workshops, and also equipping. This is in Kiambu National Polytechnic, and it is being done all over the country. For the dual training program, where Kiambu National Polytechnic is offering industrial mechatronics, we are pioneers with the two other institutions. Nairobi Technical Training Institute, which is offering automotive mechatronics, and we also have Thika Technical, that is offering auto body technology, under the dual training model, where we are doing 50-50. That is 50% of the time in the institute, 50% of the time in the industry. Yes.
I remember on Sunday I was in a function that was also attended by the Labour CES, and she said that over 2,500 jobs in Saudi Arabia, and then said Germany, which is the biggest economy in Europe, is in the shortfall of more than 500,000.
Very true.
Technical. And one thing is that if at all these jobs we are getting, we're going to have a lot of expatriates.
Yes.
We have not quite developed our TVET system here in the country. How is it that we will be allowing a lot of Kenyans to go outside there, and we really need also as a country these jobs here in the country?
I think at the moment, given our level of industrialization, we don't have as many vacancies that are paying well enough for all our graduates. So the jobs outside there would be most welcome. The other good thing that would happen is when you work with the best in the world, then you are able to replicate those skills when you come back to the country. So that is what I think should happen. That let our graduates who are competent and able to perform outside there go there, work, learn from the best, and then come back to the country. I think that would be a great thing.
Yeah, of course.
If you realize the jobs that were advertised, like in Saudi Arabia, I'm told we could not give enough workforce, give enough nurses for that matter. And yet we know we have nurses around who are not employed. When you talk of those other jobs in Germany, again, and I think that is why we have shifted to competency-based education and training. We may have people who have diplomas. Like I remember we had an interview for agriculture technicians. They were required in Britain. But then when they were interviewed, it is like something was lacking. So we could not, the jobs were there, but then we were not fit for them. But now with the new model of training, that is competency-based education and training, we are sure that we are training in the best, in the most recent technology, in what the industry, not just in Kenya, wants. And so these people will now be able to fit into the international market.
And how is the state shifting to focus TVETs to address the current labor market gaps? At least the first things first, 13 TVET institutions were upgraded to National Polytechnic. That is one.
Yes.
What are some of the other means that the state is really shifting into TVETs to address the shortfalls in the labor market?
Like I have said, the first thing is the change of curriculum to competency-based education and training. Then the upgrading to national polytechnics. What that means is that when you are national polytechnic, you are able to develop a curriculum that suits the needs of your surrounding. Like when we are in Kiambu, we should be able to scan the market, scan the community, and see what unique courses may be required in the Kiambu area and maybe Nairobi. So that way we prepare a curriculum and we train and we examine. That way we are able to go to the nitty-gritties of the skills that are required. So with so many national polytechnics now, we are able to have to address the skills gap in the communities. And since we are spread all over the country, then we are bound to address all the skill gaps that are there. Then the government is increasing the numbers. We have millions of youths, I believe, by now, who don't have any technical skills. They have completed high school, but the skills are missing. So the government is expanding access so that we are now, the focus is to have a TVET institution in every constituency. And if I am not wrong, the government has done more than 200 now, and so we are remaining with less than 100. This is expanding access. Then after you have expanded access, then the government is offering the equipment and the trainers. You realize we had an issue with the trainers. Last year the government hired 2,000, and they are in the process of hiring another lot of 2,000. So with that we will be able to expand access, but also ensure that the quality of training is right. So yes.
And I've seen, and you have also mentioned that there are partnership where some of the governments, like a good example is the German government has come in, because it also is at pains to get these technical guys. What other partnership is the government exploring, and how are these partnership helping out, and especially in institutions?
I think the government is partnering. Okay. Internally, we are partnering with the local industry, and we are working with the government. Then we are also working with the Kenya Association of Manufacturers. We are also working with the Kenyan National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. First, to sensitize the industry, to accommodate the aspect of dual training, where we want have the students to be trained both in the institute and in the industry. And that way, in that area, I think we are doing so well. Now we want to expand it. We have been doing it as Kiambu National Polytechnic. We have it in industrial mechatronics. Now we have already expanded. Now we are doing it with the industry in hospitality. That is food and beverage. And by May, when we start the new year of the college, we want to have one dual training course for every department. So we'll be having eight courses that are trained using dual training. So that way, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers and Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, they have come and partnered with us. The government is also partnering with many donor partners. We have programs with for the older national polytechnics, where we have a program called E-Strip. African Development Bank is doing a lot of funding, especially in provision of equipment, and we have now the German partnership. Now the Finnish government has joined, and the Korean government is also offering some programs. Those are the few I can remember.
Yeah, the future
but the government
really looks bright.
The government has many of those programs.
Indeed.
Yes.
And first things first, let's first of all cross over to Mombasa, where the National Construction Authority is having a conference, and our business editor, Brian Kimani, has been keeping tabs with what has been happening there. And we now reconnect to Mombasa, so that to know how this conference has been going on. Is Brian ready? All right. As soon as we get O'Brien to give us a feel of how the National Construction Authority conference is going on, and in the national construction, a lot is borrowed from the TVET institution. Again, if you're joining us, this is KBC News Check. We are looking at skill-based training, and more or less leaning on the TVETs, and we are joined by Samuel Ititu, who is the principal of Kiambu National Polytechnics. And before just a few minutes ago, we were looking at some of the partnerships that the government is engaging, and the sole beneficiaries are TVET institutions. Of course, there are a lot of challenges with the TVET institution, despite the government capitation and a lot of funding, even from abroad. What are some of the other challenges that TVETs are currently facing?
I think one of the main challenges has been the perception of TVET, where many, and I believe there is still a number, but the numbers are going down, still believe that TVET is for failures. Forgetting the reality that everything that we have, if you are to visit a house, even looking at yourself, anything that you have is done by somebody who has hands-on skills. And those are the people that we need. Through a lot of sensitization, the society has come to accept that TVET is the way to go. The other issue is our curriculum. It has been an issue. It is true that we produce graduates, many of them who may not perform, and they have to be retrained in the industry at a cost. But I want to say that we have had many challenges. They are being addressed. We are not yet there, because with the curriculum, now we have done it. We are at CBET.
All right, and I remember Dr. Moria last year urged TVETs to also, in as much as government and other institutions are helping, she urged TVETs to have endowment funds to help not only students, but also to help in terms of funding of some of the equipment. Like now we are going to AI. Touch something about that.
So I think that that was a very timely advice from the PS, because I was to mention that one other challenge that we have is the issue of funding. The fees that we collect from the students cannot be enough, and so we have to look for creative ways. If we are to have all the equipment, like I said, we are fully equipped in electrical and electronics. We are being equipped in industrial mechatronics. So the equipment that we need for these other departments, and technology keeps changing, and you have to keep abreast with it. Then you need more funding that you can get from the students. So it is imperative for all our institutions, starting with mine, to look for creative ways of generating income. One of the things we are doing is to introduce income generating activities. Like for us, we have been known for baking. We are known for doing construction works. And that is just one way of making extra income.
All right.
We have gone into driving.
Kindly hold the thought, because I'm informed that the first lady is at Karura during the launch of the landscape and ecosystem restoration strategy. She's currently addressing. Let's first of all listen in. All right, kindly continue as we wait for... All right, no, just a minute. Apologies for that. I'm informed we are now ready. Let's first of all cross over to Karura.
Restoration program with a target to grow 15 billion trees by the year 2032. We launched this strategy today. A well-known Chinese proverb says, and I quote, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now," end of quote. We are in our second year since the launch of the National Tree Restoration Campaign, and we expect each one of us here to have planted 60 trees. Of hands, let me see the people here who have managed to grow over 60 trees. Thank you. Most of us have done that.
First Lady Rachel Ruto at Karura, and we first and foremost apologize for that technical hitch in that signal, but as soon as we rectify that, we will be crossing over. It's just the landscaping and ecosystem restoration strategy there, and some of the things that she has been able to mention is that the government is on course for the 15 billion trees by the year 2032, and she says that indeed if the best time to have planted the tree was like 20 years ago, so you begin now. And we are hoping that by 2032 we'll have more than 15 billion trees. We'll be getting a little bit more on that. My colleague Sarafina Robi is keeping tabs with that. But back to our discussion, and now we are in the tail end of this discussion, so that we go cross over to the National Construction Authority conference that is currently in Mombasa. And now, Waititu, we were looking at some of the things that maybe we can do to try and make TVET institution even more attractive for the young people. Kindly wind up on that point.
I was talking of income generating activities.
Yes.
And I mentioned a few. We are doing cake baking in Kiambu National Polytechnic. We have introduced driving courses. And we are also partnering with the CDFs, starting with our own in Kiambu Town. We have partnered with them in that they are providing bursaries to our students, which ensures that all the income that we expect to get, we get it. That way we can be able to invest some in developing the equipment. And talking of an endowment fund, I want to say that we have one, and I think that so far the gospel has been preached that we have an endowment fund that funds students' training. This is a partnership between our students, that is the Students' Council, and the Board of Governors. It is now a council. So what we have done is that the students will contribute a shilling, and for every shilling they contribute, the board contributes 2. So as we talk this year, the students contributed 2.5 million. And for every shilling the board gave 2. So we have 7.5 million. We want to keep growing it. We have started this as an institution, and now we are approaching more partners, so that we don't leave anybody behind. Yeah. So that those who are not able to get money from, if you don't get enough loan, the parents are not able, we advise that they go to their CDFs, and if you cannot get from the CDFs, we have our own internal bursary. All right. The future of TVET, as you look at it, as we wind up. Yes. The future of TVET in the country, and what more should Kenyans know, and what more should Kenyans do? I think the future of... to make even more TVETs more attractive, because as you said, that is one of the major issues. The future is very, very bright, given the number of students who are graduating from our high schools, given the growing industry and the opportunities outside there. We know in the developed countries they have an aged population. We are lucky to have a very youthful population, and so I believe one of these days most of the the workers outside there will be from Kenya. We should position ourselves for that. So the future in terms of opportunities is great. The future in terms of perception is also great. We have done a lot of rebranding. Previously, you would go to a TVET institution, and a student from a good high school would feel like he has gone to a smaller institution. You have a good example when you display KIST or Kiambu National Polytechnic now. You step into the institution, and even before you get our services, you tell that you have gone to an institution of higher learning. You cannot have such a huge, clean, beautiful institution, which is the first impression that we want to take, to create. And then you imagine TVET is still for failures. So visit any of them, and you will tell that this is an institute of higher education, and this is the place to be.
All right.
So the rebranding is quite a major thing that we are doing. Yes.
Thank you so much indeed, Sami Waititu, who is the principal of Kiambu National Polytechnic. There we have been looking at skill-based training, where we have to make TVETs even more attractive for young people, so that they may join for two reasons: for employment and indeed for entrepreneurship. Because with TVET courses, the issue of job losses, the issue of lack of jobs can be sorted out by TVET institution. Even countries outside, they want those people with the technical skills. That's where we put a cap